You know, this season for Alicia, you know, we saw at the beginning of the season from when they were at the crash site that she has taken on the role of protector of this group, but initially she's using her weapon to keep an arm's length between herself and people. And her story with Morgan has been about opening herself up to people and to possibility. And so doing that with those kids is a huge step forward for her. She has made herself vulnerable, she's made herself emotional, open to these kids, but she's also, you know, put herself in some peril to do so, so it's complicated.
Yeah, and I'd also say she's not the only one who's been exposed. I mean, Morgan went to the power plant with Grace, Charlie and Strand also crashed in the middle of the radiation zone, so people are going to do a lot of health checks coming up.
Got it. So Michael Satrazemis, Blades and Karen David! Your 2019 Fear the Walking Dead lineup. So, Lennie, let's start with you.
If you must.
Welcome. Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Very nice to see you. Morgan has really finally seemed like he's evened out a bit. He seems okay. And this mission where the group is offering to basically go out and help others, you know, for this part of season 5 of Fear the Walking Dead. What can you say about that?
It's a mission about taking the biggest risk in the apocalypse, which is the risk on the future, and it's the thing to do. You know, now that we're surviving, what do we do next? And it's what we're doing next that Morgan's trying to encourage everybody to think about and to figure out.
Right. Alicia, this is from Arena283 on Twitter. Season 4 was all about revenge and coming to terms with what happened to her family. What has this season been about for her?
I mean, I think for her it's been this journey of being then just a protector and being separated from people because she can't afford to lose anyone anymore, and she's just completely stifled by the idea of not being able to protect enough, so that's all she's doing. But she's now trying for the first time with Morgan's guidance, I think, to actually open up, because that's the only way she's going to connect back to who she is and herself. Because I think she's kind of lost who she is.
But don't you think she's kind of finding her humanity a little bit again? I mean, she really did go off for a while.
Yeah, oh yeah. And now I think, you know, she's finally trying to reconnect, and that's her going after the kids, and that's her, like, trying to let those walls down and feel again and be open to loving and emotion and what it means to potentially be happy. But it's almost kind of ironic the moment she does that, we see her suddenly put in jeopardy almost instantaneously.
Right.
So, yeah.
Oh my God.
And she keeps coming back.
You know what's funny? We just went to the dead zone, and the first thing Ian and Andrew said, "Danay, watch out the poles," and I literally said, "Oh my God, I'm so traumatized." Like, I was actually looking for a pole that would not spin me to me looking at Lennie like, "Hey, can you take it out?"
But where does Luciana find the will to keep, you know, getting knocked down, get up, knocked down, get up, keep fighting, pushing through?
You know, I think it just happened when you least expect it. And what's weird is that when you're in that situation, you just start finding the strength to go over that obstacle. And what I realized this season is that, you know, usually these characters, they're out killing zombies and just dealing with the apocalypse. But Luciana was like so still, and when you're still, not because you want to, because you have to, you start thinking mentally. You become stronger mentally. Like, okay, I have no choice. I need to find the strength to deal with this because it's not natural.
Right.
And thank goodness I had Dylan to hang out with. That was amazing.
Al Meets Isabel is an incredible story, especially because for Al, she's been so almost emotionally removed from everything. We haven't really gotten a peek, you know, into her soul that much. And then we see this beautiful episode where she meets someone and decides to open up with Isabel, who almost kills her. So is there anything people would be surprised to learn about shooting that episode? Anything you want to say about that episode?
I loved that episode. I just felt like it was such a gift. Thank you guys. I mean, I felt like the characters had great chemistry, and it was really an honor and a pleasure to shoot. And surprising. I feel like there was sort of a Maggie Grace dragging machine with a camera above it, and they had like my arms and legs bound to metal bars and would like drag me along the hill so they could get that shot. Because for everything you see on screen for a couple seconds, it's like, you know, you've done it like 50 times.
Right.
There was a lot of surprising stunts that episode, and a real cliff. I mean, we were hooked in and super safe, but I think we all get used to thinking that things we see are all CG, and there's so many awesome practical effects, and we have such a great stunt team, Jack Tamplin and James Armstrong, that we love.
Yeah, I think you sent us like a photo of all the bruises, like on your arms and legs when you wrapped.
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, I was like, look at my knee.
Sent
No,
you a
it
spot gifts or
was
something.
like a badge of honor. We're like a soccer team at the end. We're like, you know, comparing bruises.
I mean,
Actually, you know, I wanted Salazar to have a companion. And in the beginning I thought a dog, and I said no. And I would imagine that is because Daryl had a dog. But at that point, no, I didn't know that. So anyways, I said, can we have a cat? And they said, no, a cat? I said, yeah, they're very difficult. I said, cat. So about 3 months later, I got a call. They go, you got the cat? I said, what cat? Cat that you were, oh yeah, okay. So the cat is there. I think the cat is wonderful. I think that it's well trained, and you know, you have, of course, you have a stunt cat, and then you have the actor cat just watches, you know.
smoking.
Smoking a cigarette.
Pretty good, yeah.
Looking at his.
I could do that. I just don't feel like it. I could do that.
Something else. But it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's a great cat, and you'd be amazed how I was amazed how good he is. I mean, he follows orders. You ever try to talk to a cat? But so it's a great cat. I mean, I love him, and I'm sure that he's a star right now. And you have made him a star. It's a lot of fun.
I will be excited at the proliferation of cats named Skidmark going forward.
Yeah, well, you know, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just not quite as much as Skidmark, but it's, you know,
Right.
it's up there, right?
Does Skidmark need a relationship?
Yeah, it's more pressing, definitely.
This is Skidmark's relationship right here. This is Skidmark.
I don't think she's quite there yet, but I think for her to have a relationship, it really needs to be someone who can make her feel safe. I think she's never felt particularly safe since everything fell apart. And even before then, you know, her brother being a drug addict, like her mother having a lot of attention on him, growing up without a father, you know, she's always felt like she had to be the protector in a sense, and I think that's probably why she's found herself in this role currently, you know, in this world. So for someone to come along, they'd have to be pretty to make her feel safe and to make her feel like, you know, she's protected for once, not the other way around. But you know, there is definitely, I'd like to see that. I think it would be nice to see her have some happiness in her future that's, you know, in a world that's not all just like guts and blood and killing. You know, it would be nice for her to have some lightness. So yeah.
Well, that's sort of the push and pull of the show, is anytime a character gets...
And my question is, the show started off as a prequel to The Walking Dead, and at some point the timeline is much more current to The Walking Dead. When was the decision made to change the format, and why?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say...
No, you go. No, I think that's you.
A lot of it was about getting deeper into the apocalypse so we could see how everyone was surviving and just what it cost everyone.
I would say we're not on the same timeline as The Walking Dead. They are now still several years ahead of us. So while we've caught up and done some time jumps, it still very much occupies its own space in the timeline.
Bobby on Facebook says, Maggie, there's a lot of mystery and unknowns surrounding Fear the Walking Dead. This was also a trend on Lost. Do you enjoy working on shows that slowly let the audience peek behind the curtain?
Yes.
The dude in the front goes, nailed it. Let's see. What would, we already got to this. Danay, I already asked you this. Season 4 was all about revenge. What? Oh, I got this, you guys. I remember how to do this stuff. When the show comes back, are we like full throttle? Is there a build-up, or are we just dropping back in at the beginning of season 5B?
Oh. Well, something that you may have picked up on in the trailer is we've seen things filmed from Al's camera before, but you may have noticed in the trailer we see other people filming as well. So we're going to see that episode 509 is filmed in a very different way than we've done our episodes in the past. And without giving away why, it's sort of a documentary format to the episode, which is going to catch us up to where the group is and what they're doing, but you're going to be experiencing it in a very different way.
Just like The Office.